Hi guys, welcome to the Mountain of God. My name is Camille. Today is 1st of May 2021. Welcome to video number 11. Today I want to talk about you and me. I want to look at things that, interestingly enough, world pursuits and many Christians don't, at least from what I've saw. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But if you look at self-development area, which is fascinating because there's tons of unbelievers which concentrate on become better people. And it has different flavors, I would say, because some of them are just want to be better at who they are as a people. Some of them want to be better in, from a spiritual perspective. Some of them want to be better in a business, from a business perspective, and kind of make few steps forward in that context, working for the family and so on. And it was fascinating to me because I kind of jumped on board of that thing just by accident. Basically, my friend told me, listen, I've got some free tickets to some event or something, and we just ended up being there, and us both being people from church, right? But what is fascinating to me is that it's amazing to observe how people, when they're put in the same mindset and the same kind of dream about themselves to become better, to open up and try to find people who tell you how to do that, the walls of distrust, of not being capable to be yourself and trust another human being, even though you met this person for the first time, it's amazing. You've got tons of people who never saw themselves and they trust each other like they would know each other for years, just because all of them have the same mindset. I just want to become better human. And you see, I want to look at this and kind of push you toward thinking about the same concept in context of being a child of God and whatever is in front of us. Because the first thing that it's good to understand is that we were not created by mistake. It wasn't something that just happened, something fall from our father's table and just like, oh, okay, that's Johnny, let's see what's gonna come up out of him. It wasn't random. Everything that happened in your life, every part of you is that your character, there's your abilities or things that you're perfect in, things that you're completely terrible at, your environment, your family, your church, your place, your language, every time that you've been born in, everything was there for a reason. And I see so many Christians being depressed because, I'm falling at this, I'm not good at that. Some of us have different kind of excuses that we don't give God a credit that He really knew what He was doing when He created you. Even though the Bible says straight in your face that before the laying foundations of the world, He created you with very specific purpose in mind. But we seem like, no. You see, that's why I want you to look at yourself from this perspective. We all know that we're not perfect. We all know, and that's kind of the whole point of this. We were not created perfect. But I want you to look at it as a plan, as a idea which was behind it, rather than His incompetence, because that would be ridiculous. So look at yourself like this. If everything that I was created in, with, for, was there for a reason, that was intentional, then why would I ever think that God would have issue with me being who I am? And I'm not talking about this cheesy way of thinking like, you're perfect exactly as you are. No, what if I'm imperfect, and that's fine, because I was created this way, because the whole point is to find out where I am, What are the things, where I find myself? What are the things that I'm good at? What are the things I'm bad at? And now let's make progress. What if God created you as a very unique personality and tries to, and kind of observes you, what you're going to do with it, exactly as we as people observe our toddlers? You see that this toddler doesn't know how to talk, how to eat, how to walk, how to communicate. They know nothing. That's why without you, this toddler will be dead in a few days. But that's the whole point. That's why we are so obsessed with our children, because you look at it and you're completely amazed with the first eye contact that this toddler is doing with you. You can start to see that there's more interaction with them. That's so amazing. The first time they raise their head, the first time they sit, the first time they start to crawl, the first time they do their first step, the first time they say mama or dada, the first time they start opening their mouth and say something, the first sentence that makes sense. It's mind-boggling. What if the same way your God looks at you and says, I made it imperfect, but look, he or she, they learn. It's amazing to observe how they discover the world, discover how this whole thing works, and they just move forward. You see, that is the secret why your child is growing so fast and changing so fast. Why? Because when your child falls, when, let's say, it's trying to learn how to walk, they don't think, oh my God, that's so hard. It's too hard. I'm not going to do it again. I think I'm gonna miss that. I'm not going to do that because it's too hard. So let me try to do something else. Maybe I'm going to try to fly. But we do that. We kind of overthink ourselves, like, oh my God, I'm not capable of doing this. Oh, I think I'm gonna quit. Why would you? If you're created this way, that's the whole point. You can do this. Or maybe you're just supposed to look at yourself and kind of understand that maybe that's not something you're supposed to do because people were not created to fly. Not in that way. You know what I'm saying? So you see, first of all, understand that you were created on purpose. Everything was put there for a reason. And God will never look at you and feel disgusted or any of these negative feelings. He won't have any of them because He created you this way for a reason, for you to make progress. Second thing that I want you to understand is that you are created for a reason with kind of ability or plan for you to make progress. But also, it wasn't just random. So we just landed here. We're supposed to make progress, but just make progress to make progress. There is a goal. God is always having this kind of logical common sense when He creates everything. I'm so fascinated with Him. So there's a goal. And interesting enough, because of that goal, because of that calling for you, because of what you're supposed to do, everything that were given to you were like puzzles that at the end, when you're going to enter this calling, you understand that that's why it was given to me. That's why I experienced this. That's why I had to be born in this time or this environment, so I'll be able to kind of fit perfectly in the calling that I was called to be part of. Because you've got to see it this way, that if God is able to see this whole thing, and we say that He knows everything, meaning He knows the future. That's why I like quantum physics as well, because quantum physics says that whenever you go and trying to understand the higher dimension, it basically shows you that if you are in a fourth dimension and forward, you're not bound by time. So what I try to kind of look at it is, which is kind of interesting way to explain why God can know everything, is like us watching a video. You're just watching your favorite TV series or a movie, and then you see that something happens, and just, wow, that was awesome, let me see it again. And you just rewind it back. And then you can watch the same thing, and even though it already happened, For them, it's the first time. The reactions are the same. Everything happens the same way. In God's reality, that's how I try to explain it, is that He can do the same thing with us. We won't be able to feel, because for our time is something that we're bound to. So even if He'll rewind it, we're not going to feel that everything is going to happen again. From His perspective, it might happen over and over and over again. But in contrast, He can interact with us. So look at it from this perspective. Maybe that's a crazy idea, but if He already saw the end of the movie, and we are somewhere in the middle, what if He knew that He would have to create us as we are so it would really fit perfectly? So what if this is intentional? From His perspective, it's not a problem, because time is not a problem for Him. And then when I got this, at least for me, maybe I don't know if that's going to do it for you, but for me it was like, wow, if that's true, then everything matters. Every experience, even every flaw that I have is there for a reason, because some of them I'll have to do something with my life. Because then if I want to be smart, understanding that He already knows how this whole thing is going to work, and that's why I was created as I was, maybe that's the whole point for me, to understand what are the things that I'm supposed to embrace in myself, because that's going to be something that's going to be used for me to be created, what I'm supposed to do. But there are things that, let's say, that are my flaws. Some of them I have to fix, because some of those, it would be important to have. Like, let's say that I'm totally lame at communication and at like social skills. Well, everything that happens happen in between and for people, so it will be good to fix that and be better at it. So maybe this is the thing I'm supposed to just kind of push myself to better at, because this end goal will require me to be good at relationship with people. Because at the end, I'm going to end up in a place with tons of people, and so what I'm going to do is sit in a corner. But there's some flaws of mine which I'm supposed to say, well, I'm bad at it, so maybe I just should never do that. Why would I force myself to do things which are irrelevant and they have nothing to do? That's why not only supposed to make progress, but supposed to be smart about it. And then it just pushes you to understand, okay, I wasn't created, I was created for a reason. There was no mistake there. There is a goal that I'm supposed to be perfect in execution, and I have to prepare myself. So I want to be smart about myself. So I want to look at myself, observe, be conscious what's happening, what happened, what I've learned from it. And then when I understand that everything that God does in my life, it pushes me towards closer and closer to my calling, what I'm supposed to do here on this earth, with people and for other people. Then everything starts to make sense, and there's no mistake there. So again, you were created for a reason. There's a goal for you to fulfill. So that's why everything goes towards that way, and it's all about being smart about it. But 3, few months ago, God told me something that kind of really took me for this really long journey. This like a train thought, or whatever it's called. It took me a long, and it's still something that kind of like in me. There's something more about it. He told me one thing. Listen, son, nothing really ever ends. Nothing really ever ends. And I thought about it a lot. And for years I've been fascinated with people who were supposedly visited heaven. They had these visions about this whole thing. And I was always kind of fascinated. What's going to happen there? What would happen with the things that we experience here? What would happen with whoever we are here? Is that just like, reincarnation? It's going to be completely reset? Because as far as I can see from reading the Bible and listening to those people, and now what Dad told me, if nothing really ever ends, it means that whoever I'm here, I'm going to end up there. It's like, it's amazing. And even more, if you read about it, it says that everything who you are, everything's going to be kind of showed in open. Everything's going to be told to everyone. There'll be no secrets. So then I start to think, wow, that's kind of changes how I look at my life. Because no matter what I do here, no matter how I think, no matter what I do when no one's looking, if everything will be known about me there. That's why maybe this whole idea when you have this near-death experience, that your life just flies in front of you like a movie. What if everything's gonna be shown there, and then every motive of mine will be known? Then whatever I do here matters. Whoever I becoming here matters. Whatever the things I'm gonna acquire and achieve here are gonna matter. Whatever things are gonna fall in here and kind of dismissed, even though they were important, it's gonna matter there. Then it changes my perspective on my own life. And then it makes me think what I would do, or what I now will do with everything, starting from what I do, then going to what I think, then how I feel in my heart. So what I'm going to do about it if everything of that's going to be shown in open. And that's, for me, that's amazing. Because I want to get there and be someone who's completely okay with showing my own life. That's why I don't lie. That's why I don't hide things. That's why whatever I do, even if no one's looking, I know that he is. And I'm not doing or not doing some stuff because he is, because I'm afraid of him. No. Whatever I do, I try to be as clean and as perfect. So if someone would be able to observe what I do and what is the reason I do this right here in my heart, they would say, I get it. And I believe this is why God told about David that he was according to his heart, because that's kind of thing I kind of believe it's going to happen. That your motives and what you did are going to matter, and it's going to be shown to everyone. And that's why your prize at the end will be based on who you are, what you did, and how did you play this whole game. But then if that nothing really ever ends, then we'll have a whole eternity to kind of progress even more. So listen, this is what I want you to take from this video. I've got this feeling that tons of us were lied to and were kind of consciously locked in, kind of concentrating on right here, right now. And we don't have this perspective. We don't have perspective on the future, on why we were created this way. What is our reason to exist in this plane? But also, what is our reason for our existence in a long run, taking into consideration that we're going to live forever? Because if we would know that, then everything matters. Then it should become like an obsession of ours to kind of observe, who am I? Why that created me this way? What can I do with it? What did he try to teach me when this or that happened, even though it might be traumatic? And then at the end of the day, I'm trying to look at how can I become even better, or the closer to perfection as I can, just for I be able to fulfill my calling. But then at the end of the day, I'll be able to enter his presence and be proud of myself. So think about it and do something about it. Because the one thing you need to change, to really change how you look at yourself and how you live and what you're doing with this, is your perspective. Because at least for me, what I want is to be able to get in front of his throne and hear, I like what you've done with this, son. If you like this video, like, share, comment. If you didn't, comment as well. Tell me what you think and what is your experience. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, give me a shout. I'll be glad to do it for you. That being said, see you tomorrow.